Hello students, this is Prasad So here. Welcome back to our online classes. As usual, what we were practicing in the lockdown days. So for another 20 days, we were going to begin with this online classes through a mode of videos and interaction classes by our laptop. So today we were going to begin with an English grammar clauses and its definition and types. So this is what we are going to begin with this. Before that, let's have an introduction of clauses. What is a clause? The clauses are divided among how many types? What is the meaning of each type of the clause? This is what we are going to discuss. So here, what is a clause? Let's have a proper definition of a clause here. Okay, so let's take out the brush. A clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a finite verb. So what do you mean by a subject? See here, every sentence have a subject its own. The whole sentence speaks about a subject. So it is called an subject here. And a finite verb. What do you mean by a word? A finite verb? Do you know the difference in between finite and infinite? Finite is a very exact, a single, a very meaningful verb. For that we can see a finite verb. So here we have something about the finite verb. A finite verb shows time such as present, past and future. So this verb shows us a time also. So this what is written here in the bracket, it is an introduction for a finite verb. By the way, a clause is a group of words. This is what we have to confirm. And what is another about the clauses? See, the clauses are of two main kinds. One is independent and another is dependent. Okay. An independent clause we have also called a main clause. Why this independent clause called a main clause? Do you know the meaning of independent? Yes, might be you're thinking about Independence Day. So independent means that remaining so free and fair, and he or she don't have a hesitation, don't have a threat from anyone else. So this kind of nature can be called here independent. So here we are talking about independent clause. So whatever written, the sentence and all those things, so it is an independent. It is not dependent on another sentence. The sentence which is independent, it is not dependent on another sentence, it is called independent clause. So here independent clause can stand alone as a complete thought. It can stand alone as a complete thought. So it doesn't require the help from another sentence. So this is what a small thing about a clause here. Yes. So now we have discussed what is a clause. Okay. So clause is a group of words. There is a subject and verb agreement, and it is an independent clause and dependent clause. So this is what a short thing what we have discussed from a previous slide. Now let's begin what is a clause in a such a simple manner. So clause is a group of words. So what it is? It is a group of words or a related words. So it has an subject and verb combination. It has a subject and verb combination. So do you know subject and verb agreement? Yes, what it means, if there is a good agreement in between subject and verb, it is called subject and verb agreement. This is what we have learned in the class. Yes or no? Yes, according to its particle rule. If there is a singular subject, then the verb will also be in a form of plural. If the plural subject, the verb will also be in a form of singular. This is what the rules of the subject and verb agreement says. Now another point about the clause, it has a complete meaning by itself. This is what we have discussed. Okay, so it is all about and what is a clause. Now let's begin with another part. Yes. So this is what we have discussed. Okay. So the clauses have a complete meaning by itself. It has a subject and verb combination and group of words. Now these three things, 1, 2 and 3, should be applied in this example. In which example? In this example. So here we have an example. He plays cricket regularly. So what is the subject here in the sentence? Yes, he, masculine, it is a subject. Plays, verb. Which verb it is? Singular or plural? Yes, it is a singular verb. Cricket regularly. Yes, he plays cricket regularly. So here we have a sentence. So what this sentence gives to us? It gives a complete meaning and it is called a clause. So students, what you have learned from this? What is a clause? See, clause is a group of words, subject and verb combination. It has a complete meaning by itself. How we will get to know about this? By taking this example, he plays cricket regularly. So he is a subject, plays is a verb, and it gives a complete meaning that the person is playing a cricket regularly. So he can be said here a professional cricketer. Okay, professional cricketer means the persons who are playing nowadays IPL. So they can be said as professional cricketers. So if he playing cricket regularly, so it is bringing a complete meaning. So this is what here this whole sentence can be called here clause. What it can be called here? Clause. Fine. Now let's begin with another part. Yes. Now let's discuss the types of the clauses and the parts of the clauses here. So here in the middle we have clauses and it is divided among two parts. One is independent clause, another is dependent clause. Independent means the thing which is not bother on anything else. Here the thing in the sense sentence. So here the sentence which has a complete meaning, it is called independent sentence or an independent clause. If the sentence is dependent on another sentence, so it is called an dependent clause. Understood? Now let's begin further. So here let's discuss the clauses are divided among two parts, okay, which are they? Independent and dependent. Now let's begin what it is an independent clause. What is a independent clause? So here the independent clause has a complete sentence by itself, doesn't need any other clause for its existence. So what do you mean by this sentence? Doesn't need any other clause for its existence. So other clause means it is a form of a sentence. So this independent clause doesn't need any sentence to form, okay, its meaning to form its existence. So here we have one sentence. So let's say for example, you may sit. So here subject we have you, sit is a verb, okay, may is an assumption, okay, it is an polite request or it is a polite permission, you can say. So here we have a sentence, you may sit. So this whole sentence brings a meaning itself, yes or no? Yes. So this is what called here independent clause, where it has a complete sentence and no another clause is required to form a sentence. So it is called here independent clause. Now let's begin what is a dependent clause. Now let's begin with the dependent clause. So here we have a dependent clause and what it is, we have to look over here. So here the dependent clause, it has subject and verb combination but no complete thought. I repeat once again, it has subject and verb combination but no complete thought. So this is what here dependent clause says. And what else about the dependent clause? Dependent on independent clause. So see here, dependent clause is always dependent on independent clause. So you know what is independent clause? Which is independent in its own sense. So it is an independent on itself. So the sentence which don't needs the help of another sentence, it is called independent sentence. The sentence which wants the help from independent sentence, it is called dependent sentence, okay. All right, so here we have related example for a dependent clause. For example, wherever you like. What do you mean by this? Wherever you like. Do you getting any meaning from this? What it means? आपको कैसा लगता है वैसा करो. Wherever you like. So you is here subject, like is here verb. Okay, wherever is, okay, it is an conjunction. Okay, wherever you like, it is a starter of any sentence. So this sentence doesn't gives any exact meaning, so that's why it is called dependent clause. Wherever you like. Now let's combine the dependent and the independent clause sentences together, then we will come out with the meaning here. So let's have a revision about the same dependent clause. See, it is a subject and verb combination, but it don't have any complete thought, and this dependent clause is dependent on independent clause. If the independent sentence added to this sentence, then the complete meaning comes out with this. So here we have one example, wherever you like. You is a subject, like is a verb. Wherever doesn't show any good meaning about this sentence. Okay. Yes, now combines the both sentences of independent clause and dependent clause here. After combining, which meaning is coming out here? So here we have dependent and independent clause when we combine together. So here again, once again, the dependent clause is a subject verb combination. It don't have any no complete thought. It don't have any complete thought. It is dependent on independent clause. This is what we have read in the previous slide. Now we can combine the independent sentence with dependent sentence. So what is coming out? You may sit wherever you like. Yes, now the great meaning is coming out of this sentence. Okay, earlier what was there? Only wherever you like. Okay, wherever you like you can do is it's not giving any good sentence here. When we combined independent sentence with the dependent sentence, now we are coming over this. You may sit wherever you like. Same thing, you is a subject here, like is a verb here. Again, you is a subject. Okay, may is any polite request or polite permission, and sit is again verb. So when these are combined together, now the complete meaning is coming out of this. So that's why dependent clause is always dependent on independent clause. So now the clauses are divided among dependent and independent. This is what clear with a perfect example. Now let's begin with further. Now discuss the types of dependent clause. So here we have to look over the types of dependent clause. Previously what we have read the two parts of the clauses, which is dependent and which is independent. So independent, keep it aside, and now discuss about the dependent clause, which is very important for your syllabus. Okay, so in the class what we have discussed about the noun clause, about the adjective clause, about the adverb clause. Okay, the sentence which talks about the noun, it's called noun clause. The sentence which talks about the adjective, it is called adjective clause, and the sentence which talks about adverb, it is called adverb clause. Now let's discuss these clauses, okay, these elements of the dependent clause briefly, okay, in another slide. So let's begin with the noun clause first. So here let's begin what is a noun clause. Before that, let's know about what is noun, the basic of it. Noun is the name of a person, place, thing, okay, is called noun. And what is clause? Clause is a group of words, okay, which forms the sentence, and it is divided among two parts. One is, yes, independent clause, another is dependent clause. Among dependent clause, we are studying about a noun clause. Fine. So what is a noun clause? Noun clause is again, it is a group of words, okay, and it brings the subject and verb agreement, and subject and verb combination is good in noun clause. And here we have one example. Okay, about this example we will discuss further. Just learn about more thing about the noun clause. Noun clause, let's see, okay, where the sentence tells about the noun, it is called noun clause, and it is a group of words, and here we have a subject and verb combination. This is what we should know about the noun clause. Now let's discuss this noun clause with the example here. Here we have example, I fear that I will fail. What do you mean? I fear that I will fail an exam. So students, so don't follow this sentence. If you follow this sentence, so it will be a bad for you. So follow like this. Just for an example, for a noun clause, just follow it. Okay. And afterwards, just take out this thing from your brain. So what it says, I fear that I will fail. So here we have a sentence. Okay. So which is the main sentence here? That I will fail is a main sentence. So here we have a subject I, okay, and a verb fail. Okay, all right, and it gives a good meaning to what? The whole clause acting as an object of fear. The whole clause is acting as an object of what? Fear. Yes. Okay. This whole clause that I will fail, it will act as an object of fear. So it's a noun clause. So it is a noun clause. Once again, I will tell you. Let's say this is an example here. I fear that I will fail. Okay. So here that I will fail is a main sentence and it plays an object of a fear. Okay, so we have a fear in our heart that I will fail. So that I will fail is a main sentence which plays as an object of a fear. So it is called noun clause. The sentence which describes the noun, okay, the name of something, okay, noun is called noun clause. So here we have a noun, let's say fear, okay, a name of something, fear, and the whole sentence is defining fear, is describing fear, and the whole sentence plays the object of fear, then it is called here noun clause. Now discuss the same thing with another example. Yes students, so here we have another example for noun clause. So in the previous slide what we have discussed, we discussed about this example. Now we have an example of this. So what it says, that you have come pleases me. So which is the main sentence here? Which is a independent sentence? This says that you have come pleases me. Okay, so here that you have come, so you place here the role of subject, have place here the role of helping verb, come place here the role of, okay, form of the verb, and the pleases is also here, okay, verb, me is a subject. That you have come pleases me. Okay, here the main sentence that you have acting as a subject of verb called pleases. Okay, so here this sentence is acting as a subject of a verb pleases. Okay, this pleases is a verb. So this sentence is acting as a subject of a verb pleases. So it can be considered here which clause? Noun clause. Okay, let's discuss again one time. Okay, have a revision of again, just okay, take out all these things. Now let's discuss again one time. Let's say that you have come pleases me. The main sentence here we have that you have come, okay, pleases me. So students, tell me which is the main sentence? That you have come. Okay, this sentence is playing the role of subject of this verb. Which is the verb here? Pleases. Okay, the thing which gives the meaning to the verb, okay, the things which gives the meaning to the action is called the main sentence, and it is always coming under noun clause. And here you have one sentence. Okay, this clause basically work of the noun called noun clause. Okay, this clause basically work of the noun called noun clause. So this is what here all about the noun clause. Okay, so in the first example, I fear that I will fail. Okay, so this sentence plays the role of fear here. Okay, here that I will fail, the whole main sentence plays as a subject of this verb. Okay, then it is called noun clause. This main sentence place the subject of this verb pleases, so it is called here noun clause. So what is a noun clause basically? Basically this clause is work of the noun called noun clause. So this is what here all about the noun clause. Now let's begin with another part, which is adjective clause. Okay. Yes students, let's begin with the adjective clause here. So here we have a adjective clause. So what do we mean by the word adjective? The thing which is defining, which is telling the meaning of noun and pronoun, it is called adjective. A beautiful flower, okay, a furious animal, a fastest mammal, a fastest thing. So something which is describing the noun and pronoun is called adjective here. So it can be considered here adjective clause, okay, or adjective. So what is a clause? As we discussed, clause is a group of words. There is a subject and verb combination. So clause are divided among two parts, dependent and independent. In dependent, we have already discussed about noun clause, and now discussing about adjective clause. Okay, so what is adjective clause? Again, adjective clause is a group of words. It have a subject and verb combination, and act has an adjective. Okay, that subject and verb, wherever in the main sentence, the whole main sentence act has an adjective. So that's what it is called adjective clause. And here one more thing, it describes the noun. Okay, here adjective clause acts as an adjective but describes the noun. So what is the role of adjective? It describes the noun and pronoun. Is it or no? Same thing, the adjective clause, the sentence whichever there in the sentence, it is considered the adjective clause when the whole sentence plays the role of adjective and it describes the noun. What is noun? The thing which is defining, okay, the name of the place, person and all those things, and the remaining sentence, okay, the auxiliary sentence which is defining the noun is called describes, okay, it is called adjective clause. Now let's understand by an example here. Okay, we have an example, the umbrella. What is umbrella? The name of a thing, the name of a material. So it is a noun here. Can we say noun? Yes, it is a noun. Which has a broken handle. Which has a broken handle is mine. So it is a possessive one. It belongs to someone. It belongs to some person. So umbrella which has a broken handle is mine. Can you guess which is the most important phrases out of from this sentence? See, which has a broken handle is coming out of in a loud manner. So the whole introduction about the umbrella is given among this sentence, which has a broken handle. Broken is a verb, yes. Handle is a subject. So this sentence is defining to this umbrella. It is describing to this umbrella. So what is umbrella? Umbrella is a noun. So what we have read in the adjective clause, that adjective clause describes the noun. What it do? It describes the noun here. So same thing, okay, the group of sentence which is describing the noun here, an umbrella, it is called here adjective. Okay, and this sentence plays the role of adjective to this umbrella. Understood? Okay, so these group of words plays a role of adjective and they were defining this noun is called adjective clause. Very simple, very simple. Okay, so this is what all about adjective clause. Now have a revision on it. Okay, fine. Now let's repeat the same thing again. Okay, fine. Yes. So here we have an example. The umbrella which has a broken handle is mine. So which is the main sentence here? Which has a broken handle. So it plays a role of adjective to this noun umbrella. Okay, here we have a noun umbrella. So the thing which is defining the noun, which is defining the umbrella, it plays there as an adjective. That's why it is called here adjective clause, because adjective clause always describes the noun and act as an adjective. Okay, understood? This is all about an adjective clause. Now let's begin with an adverb clause here. Okay, before that, now let's take another example for an adjective clause. Yes, so students, we have here adjective clause. What? Adjective clause. So we have already discussed the introduction part of the adjective clause, and we have taken this example as an introductory part to learn about the adjective clause. Now let's begin the same thing with the same example. So here we have, he met a girl whose eyes were blue. So to whom he met? Whose eyes were blue? Is it? So which sentence is more important here? Whose eyes were blue is the most important, because they were talking the characteristics of that girl, not about that girl. They were talking the characteristics of that girl. So that's why this sentence is more important. So whose eyes were blue, in this sentence, eyes is a subject, blue is a verb. Is it? Yes or no? Blue is a verb. Okay, the whole sentence, defining this girl. So in a sense, girl is a pronoun or a noun? Yes, it is a noun in a sense of a common noun. Girl is a noun. So this sentence is defining a noun. So it is called here adjective clause. Why? The adjective clause describes the noun, and here the remaining sentence which is describing the noun, it acts as an adjective. It acts as an adjective. So due to this example, what we can learn? Basically, this clause does a work of adjective. This clause does a work of adjective. Okay, so with these two examples, what we have read, the whole adjective clause does a work of adjective. So in the sentence, there will be some sentences or phrases which works like adjective and defines the noun. That sentence can be called here adjective clause. The sentence which comes up, which defines the noun, that sentence is very important, and it is called here adjective clause. Now students, understood? Okay, now let's begin with another part, which is a adverb clause. Yes students, let's begin with an adverb clause. Which one? Adverb clause. So what do we mean by an adverb? The thing or a word which defines the verb. So here running is what? Bhagna. Walking is what? Chalna. Talking is what? कहना और बात करना. Thinking is what? सोचना. Jumping is what? कूदना. Sitting is what? बैठना. Laughing is what? हंसना. Or naughty is what? शरारत. What you used to do in a class? Yes or no? So it is all called verb. If running fastly, he runs fast. He walk slow, or she walk slow. The thing which is describing the verb, it is called here adverb. And what is clause? Clause is a group of words. There is a subject and verb combination. And the clause is divided among dependent and independent, and we are discussing now about dependent. Independent we discussed already, noun clause, adjective clause, and we are discussing here an adverb clause. Fine. This is what about the clauses, and the clauses have its a meaning by its own. A group of words which forms the sentence. So now let's begin with the adverb clause. Here we have one sentence. So here adverb clause modifies verb, adjective or adverb. So see here, the adverb clause plays the role of modifying the verb, modifying the adjective, or it will modify the adverb itself. Is it? This is what a silly point. So here what is an adverb clause at all? It is a group of words. Here we can find subject and verb combination, and here the whole sentence act as an adverb. The whole sentence act as an adverb. So here one question arises among adverb clause. What it is? What does the adverb do in the sentence? So can anyone tell me what does the adverb do in the sentence? See, the adverb modifies verb, adjective or adverb in the sentence. Understood? This is what I am asking here. Now here the adverb clause acts as an adverb in the sentence. Now let's discuss about the adverb clause okay, with two examples. Here we have a two examples. Okay, they rested when the evening came. What they did? They rested when the evening came. When did they rested? It is most important. Where they did rested? Why they rested? It is more important. Yes or no? Okay, instead of rested. So when they rested, the evening came. So the evening came is a main sentence here. Okay, when the evening came is a main sentence. What is evening? Okay, the name of a time is called evening, so it is a subject here. What is a verb? Came is a verb. Is it or no? Coming, going. So came is a verb here. So it is a main sentence. When the evening came, they rested. What is a rested here? Rested is, okay, what they rested is a verb. Yes or no? Okay, the thing which defines the rested, it is called adverb clause. Okay, so all right, we have a word rested. Okay, yes, we accept it. Then it is an verb. The thing which is telling about the verb, what it is called? Adverb. The whole group of sentence can be called here. Yes, what it is called? It is called adverb clause. Is it or no? Yes. So it is called an adverb clause, and the whole group of sentence is defining rested. It is called here an adverb clause. Understood? Okay. Now let's begin with another example with the same meaning for adverb clause. So here we have a sentence, I will give you a map so that you can find a way. See here, the sentence is big and a crucial one, or somehow brain using. So I will give you a map. Here in the sentence, I will give a map so that you can find a way. So why he want to give a map? To whom he want to give a map? Okay, so what is the purpose of giving a map? So these are the questions are arising, yes or no? So for answering this question, you have a sentence so that you can find a way. So this sentence is important or this sentence is important? So this sentence is more important because it is defining this sentence. Which sentence? This sentence. So here the main sentence we have, so that you can find a way. So here in this sentence, you plays a role of subject, find plays a role of verb. So here in this sentence we have subject and verb combination. Yes or no? What we have read? So it is a group of words. Yes or no? What we have read here? So this whole main sentence is defining this sentence. I will give you a map. Okay, I will give you a map. So it is defining here the word give. Okay, give is a action here. So action is a verb. So this, it is defining here this sentence. So the words which defines the verb is called adverb clause. It is called adverb clause. Fine, understood? So here adverb clause always describing the verb, okay, let's say which is rested, which is give. Okay, so it is always describing the verb, so that's why it is called here adverb clause. Understood? Here, so there is nothing so hard to understand. It's just simple. If the group of sentence plays a role of an adverb and it defines the verb, it is called adverb clause. If a group of sentence plays the role of adjective and it defines the noun and pronoun, it is called adjective clause. If a group of sentence, okay, if a group of sentence plays a role of adjective and verb and it defines noun or a verb or adjective, it is called a noun clause. Very simple, very simple. This is what all about. Okay, noun, adjective and adverb clause, which is coming under, yes, which is coming under what? Dependent clause. Understood? Okay, so now let's have a glance what we have read from this. So alright students, so what we have discussed now, so it is a basic of clauses and the things which were be expected from you, it is all about the basic. So here let's have a revision what we have read in this. First of all, we have read about the clauses. What is a clause? Okay, then what we have read? Okay, in how many parts the clauses are divided. Yes or no? Okay. Then we have discussed about the dependent clause and independent clause. Dependent clause is always dependent on independent clause, and independent clause have its own meaning, have its own sentence. It is not dependent on any another sentence. So the thing which is the weakest, we have to take care about this. Yes or no? That's why we have discussed about the dependent clause. In dependent clause, we discussed about the noun clause, adjective clause, and adverb clause. So noun clause, the main sentence, okay, which plays the role of adjective and a verb, or which plays the role of a noun, and it defines the adjective and the verb, it is called noun clause. Okay, yes. And in the adjective clause, the main sentence plays the role of adjective and it defines the verb, it is called adjective clause. The main sentence which plays the role of adjective and a verb and it defines the verb, it is called adverb clause. Understood? This is what we have discussed in a whole. So students, watch this video thoroughly, understand it. If you have any doubts, no problem, you are free to ask a question related to this, and based on this exercise I am going to provide you more question to solve, which is related to your exams, and the questions which were expected to come in your exam I am going to provide you. You have to read those questions and solve it, and afterwards send me for a checking purpose. So for the time being, okay, thank you, watch this video and understand it, and wait for another video. Okay, bye, take care.